Rugby, folks, URC rugby. I watched some non-rugby World Cup rugby. Rugby. For the first time in a wee while. I actually watched the women's game Australia-Wales last night, which was a cracker, dramatic finish, but I watched some URC for the first time this season. Round 3, Glasgow up against the Stormers. First half had a fair bit of scoring, not so much the second half, but the Glasgow guys get a home win. And the Stormers held tryless. We'll go through some key events and you guys can let us know your thoughts, some stats as well. Pretty tentative early, I thought. Good crowd, loud. Seemed pretty cold as I sit here in spring in New Zealand. The birds are chirping and the sun's out and there's bloody breath coming out of all the players' mouths and the scrum is like a mountain of steam. Yeah, I'd rather be here to be honest, but the crowd was in good voice, which was pretty pleasing. Cancellieri had probably the first big chance early, big line break from his own 22. Hands let the Glasgow guys down, couldn't quite convert. Final pass kind of hits the grass. Errors from both sides. Glasgow kicked it dead at one point. Dwebber did a kind of dummy throw at the line out, which he got pinged for, so neither side that clinical. And the Stormers actually got the first points on the board on around about 20 minutes with a penalty, a breakdown penalty, so 3 points to zip. When Glasgow had their turn for a penalty, they opted for touch, so opting a little bit more for the jugular. The Stormers managed to stop their maul, which was great because they got a bloody good maul, the Glasgow boys, and Johnny Matthews loves a try, as you've seen in this game. But, they got free kicked at scrum time, which meant the Glasgow guys got a second bite at the cherry, and they took it the second time, man. Great little scrum move. McDowell kind of draws in his man, holds up the ball, just pops it to Tuipulotu, who goes in pretty much unopposed. Great move, 7 points to 3. Glasgow in front. The Stormers respond with a penalty, but then from that kind of great pushback to make it 7-3, Mgonozulu immediately got charged down from the restart, which meant that Glasgow had a chance to set a maul. And what I say about their maul, they got a good maul. Johnny Matthews goes over for his first try. 12 points to 6, penalties each way, 15-6, 15-9. That's the final scoring for the Stormers. And then the Stormers get themselves into some hot water. Evan Roos with a off-the-ball tackle on Matt Fagerson makes it 14 men for the Stormers. And then Dwebber with a lifting tackle on Greg Peterson means 13 players for the Stormers. Can Glasgow punish with 2 extra men? Yes, they can. Johnny Matthews again peels off a maul. 20 points to 9 at halftime. That's the final score. No scoring in the second half. I mean, the halftime, Glasgow had 68% possession, 65% territory, 191 run meters to 63. There's a van coming down my driveway. My neighbour's house getting some renovations done. But, second half, no scoring. Glasgow hunted the bonus point. Couldn't quite get it done. They'll be disappointed as well because they still had the 2-man advantage for the start of the second half, but nope, both the yellow card guys came back on. And, Jean-Luc Duplessis had a good chance line break for the Stormers guys. Couldn't convert. He put a big tackle on Vailanu, which is impressive because there's big size difference there. The Stormers got held up on 57 minutes. Stormers had so much pressure on the second half, but could they convert? No. Glasgow were under the pump for a long time, managed to get themselves a scrum penalty, which allowed them an exit. Commentary team wasn't convinced about the scrum penalty, but there you go. More Stormers pressure on 63 minutes. Vailanu won a penalty at the breakdown, so another exit. Sordoni gave away a penalty with a kind of leading forearm, but the Stormers then missed touch, so a lot of missed opportunities for the Stormers in the second half. Both sides chasing the bonus point at the death. The 4-try one for Glasgow, the losing bonus point for the Stormers. Neither could get it. Possession finishes 57-43. Territory 63-37 to the Stormers because they had 78% territory in the second half. Totally camped down the Glasgow end. Run meters 267-215, pretty even. Glasgow edge it slightly, 7 clean breaks to 5. Kicking from hand, not that high, 19-12, with the Glasgow boys putting a little bit more boot to ball. Stormers line out 11 from 17 is a bit poor, whereas Glasgow was a more respectable 14 from 16. So, yeah. Tuipulotu had 5 defenders beaten. Cancellieri had 5 defenders beaten. Matt Fagerson made 17 tackles. Ben Jason Dixon made 18 tackles. Jean-Luc Duplessis, 4 defenders beaten. But, the Stormers will be absolutely disappointed. They couldn't get anything on the board in that second half, and Glasgow will rue not getting that 4th try, but ultimately a better day at the office for them. The Stormers have got Benetton away, and Glasgow has got Ospreys away. So yes, URC. If you guys are in New Zealand, it's free to air, part of it. Some of the games are on TVNZ, so happy days. I know the URC is free to air in many parts of Europe anyway. I don't think in South Africa, but yeah, free to air rugby in New Zealand is like a pig flying. It just doesn't happen. So free to air rugby. This game was on TVNZ. I watched it for free. That's not an ad. It's just a... No one paid me to say that. That's just happy to see free to air rugby. But anyway, you guys let us know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.